Hello and welcome everyone to the altar. Tonight you have myself, Ben, aka the person formerly known as Base Heisenberg, and we have Max, aka Less Racist Max, aka N Caparato, joining us from the great state
AKA
of
less racist Max.
aka Less Race. No, I mentioned that. You just weren't listening because you were getting a
Oh.
beer.
Oh, okay.
You literally was a second before you put the headphones on. Just a second.
All
But
right.
it's okay. It's all right. And tonight we are not joined by Matt because Matt is too busy doing drywall. Because
Drywall's a bitch, man. I need to drywall my basement, and I don't want to do it.
Well,
So.
see, Matt does it because he's Mexican. So since you're white, you could pay Matt to do it for you because he's Mexican, and he's already used to it.
Actually,
so.
yeah. You're right. Oh, speaking of which, I saw an amazing tweet from Ann Coulter today. And it was reblogged
I'm
by.
waiting for you to talk shit.
Aha! There he is.
It was reblogged by Michael Ballas, where it was fucking picture of some guy, and he's doing a cool job, like picking tomatoes and like tossing them into the back of a truck, and the basket would like perfectly hit the edge of the truck and bounce back, and all the tomatoes would go in. And it's like everybody in the comments is like, "This is amazing," and Culture just comes out and is like, "If everybody insisted on doing things the same way farmers insist on doing them, then we'd all still have like horses and buggies. Like, come on, get with the fucking times and automate this shit. Like, there's no reason a human should be out there like tossing these tomatoes into the back of a truck."
Yeah.
Which is true. Like, I support a higher minimum wage because I want those people to be unemployed. They don't deserve
Exactly. Yeah.
money.
They should live on the street.
Every time someone complains about not having enough money, I tell them, "Have you considered not being poor?"
Exactly. Just stop being a broke motherfucker. It is perfectly within your capability.
Stop being broke. Stop having no skills.
Just stop it. Get some help.
Stop.
Learn to code. Yeah.
Learn to
Learn
code.
to code.
Yeah.
I want to teach African refugees JavaScript.
I'm starting to learn some C++ next week. Next term starts, and it's like wildly easy compared to Java, so it's fun. God, I hate drywall so much. Sorry, I literally just got finished. Yeah, like I literally just finished mudding and taping shit, and I showered because I wanted to come on for like a couple minutes at least. But I'm beat, dude. Boys.
You don't need to shower to like appear in a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on.
I had
sweaty
drywall
and
mud all
dirty.
over me. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I didn't have
Hell
like
yeah.
I had it on my
Oh,
hand.
What?
you had dry
you would
white
take-
stuff off all over you. What a surprise! Like that's totally never happens before.
Yeah, white stuff. Me, come on, all the time.
Yeah.
Wait for Yimmer to come over. Yeah, he's on his way right now. That's why I couldn't.
Oh,
make
That's
it.
what I figured. Yeah.
We should note, speaking of regime change and shit like that, 10 years ago today was Muammar Gaddafi's last moments being bayoneted to death.
Ooh, in the rectum.
In the ass. Yeah.
Anally.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
By a guy wearing I want to say he was wearing like a baseball cap.
Probably. You think he was wearing Reebok slides or Nike slides or Adidas slides?
Adidas.
Adidas, yeah.
He's on Reebok or the Nike.
So what are the topics tonight?
So we were going to talk about Kanye pretending to be based because he just bought Parler and he wants to draw attention to that. Germany needing an alternative fuel source, and Max thinking of a connection between the two that may prove useful for both parties. What else? Oh, the midterms, of course, being an impending blowout. And then what the final solution is to the simp question, which Max also came up with.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about Kanye. Yeah.
Word. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I was like,
Yay or is it ye when you contract it?
I don't
Yay.
fucking know. I'm too
yay?
white to care. You know,
You did drywall all day. You're Mexican right now, dude. So it's yay.
it's
You
just
should
true.
know.
It's just yay. It's easy. No, like, so that shit was funny because like the memes they're coming from it were fucking good. Like, there's people in I think the Quite Frankly Discord dropped something. It's like they always call you anti-Semitic, but they never say you're wrong, do they?
uh, I still do think it was
Well,
funny
shit.
that like he started calling shit out and then immediately like he gets dropped by a bank. It's like, huh?
Yeah, could the optics be any like? Could they not consider that, especially like if you're trying to win over like the marginal African community that like might hold some opinions like that. The second
There's
they're
no
just
winning people over. Come on, please,
Mm.
please.
okay, I maybe so, maybe so. But it reminds me that Scott Horton recently had Matt Taibbi on to discuss coverage of or actually sorry, this is the episode before. Matt Taibbi or Horton had one of the journalists that appears regularly on The Hill, and apparently The Hill has like these op-ed segments, and she did one about her friend who got removed for she wrote an op-ed in defense of the congresswoman, the Somali one from Minnesota, calling Israel an apartheid state. And
Oh,
like I disagree with a lot of things that, you know, Rashida Tlaib says on the congressional floor, but one of the things she's not wrong about or no, it's not the Somali, it's the Palestinian one. Like she's literally Palestinian American,
mm.
like Arabic Muslim, and
That's
she's in
allowed.
Congress.
She's got an interesting face. To be
Yeah,
polite,
right.
it's weird.
I'm gonna
But
have to
she
Google what she looks like now.
uh to the apartheid, and I should link the video at some point. Um yeah, she's got a face. Anyways,
Oh,
Yeah, she's
okay,
very
continue.
Semitic
Sorry.
looking.
but we're just not used to seeing like Arabic women's faces because they're normally,
True, they are
covered.
normally covered, so we don't normally. Yeah.
Anyways, the she called up on the Congress floor, and she gets censored by the Democratic Party. Like Wasserman Schultz and Chuck Schumer are like, that you can't allow this anti-Semitism to stand. The criticism of Israel. By the way, they're both Israeli citizens. Fact
Mm.
check me on that, but I'm pretty sure
Well,
that,
of
like,
course, Chuck Schumer is an Israeli citizen. I mean, just look at him. Just
Don't
you
a
don't
lot
I
even
of
mean,
you
they're
don't even
probably
need to
Congress,
both
see. You don't even
in
need
the
to read the early
Mossad.
life section.
Yeah.
don't a lot of like Congress, not a lot, like at least there's a decent amount of Congress people that have dual citizenship
It's a
with
pretty
Israel.
healthy amount.
Number one, no, it's like a third of them have like Israeli
Okay.
citizenship. It's
Mm.
ridiculous. And then I mean, somebody look that up while I'm ranting here. But so Tlaib does says that Israel is apartheid, and then this op-ed for the Hill, she records an op-ed saying like these are like the facts of the matter that Israel is an apartheid state, and she emails back and forth with the producers a couple times, and it takes like 3 emails, and she gets fired from the Hill and they reposted the video, and it's literally just a historical account, and like this is the definition of apartheid, this is what Israel does to its Palestinian Arab Muslim population. You go through and she's just laying it out. She even quotes Israeli prime ministers like from the past that say we are an apartheid state, like they're admitting it, right?
Mm.
And she got deleted from the Hill for that. Scott Horton brings her on,
Oh,
and his episode gets taken off of YouTube.
Hmm.
And it's like, this is the one thing you really, really just can't criticize Israel, can you?
you cannot. I guess
I
maybe that
attempted
was.
to actually
I
look up
I
how
think
many.
our information about dual citizenship was incorrect. I think it's almost no one has
Yeah,
dual
so
citizenship.
I saw an article from like 2019 that there were 34 Jewish members of the House of Representatives. It was like the only thing I can find because literally everything else is just like an article ranting about people ranting about Congress people with dual citizenship. So
Okay, maybe I saw like
inconclusive.
a
So officially, maybe
in,
not, but unofficially, they're all every last one of them. Like again, you don't even need to look at the early life section.
do not. It's not like multitask here and it's going terribly, but whatever. I was thinking about upgrading to Nitro on Discord.
Yeah, you wanna use my fancy emojis that I get?
Yeah, the big nose ones.
Yep. Shout out to the Quite Frankly Discord for
So-
that.
So,
Oh man.
No, the other thing was
Oh my God! It's signed to Reebok or
Because
signed Nike.
I dropped in the boys chat. We have the prep chat.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped that shit post video about some conversation I had with our friend Brian, friend of the
Mhm.
show. Never watched it. That was talking about like he goes to the gym, Planet Fitness, and there's a
Yay.
fucking guy there that works out with his shirt off, and he's got like fucking swastika tattoos and all the Nazi shit tattooed on him, right? And he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's like I want to go up to him, but I don't want to get my ass beat. I'm like, okay, that's your first mistake. Is that you probably have claimed that you'd punch Nazis, but you won't even punch this one. So what does that
Exactly.
mean?
So
You know,
you
you're
need
at a
to-
gym working out. Like, what are you doing that for? If you're not working out to punch a Nazi, you're failing. So I guess like he was like, oh yeah, like well, I talked to management there, and they said they talked to him about it, but he's still doing it, so I don't know what to do and all that. So I was joking, like you ever think that he's a Nazi because he sees what Israel's doing to the Palestinians? Have you considered that? Please get real for 2 seconds. That's why Kanye's on our side now.
Exactly.
But
I think
so
Kanye's just like genuinely mentally ill.
Oh, for
and-
sure. Yeah.
Like unable to like he lacks the rationality to realize like a person of his stature is not allowed to say certain things. So when he realizes something, he feels very special, and it's like it's the first time anybody said anything like that with such a big voice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't realize like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be in this club that
There's
doesn't
been a
say
lot
things
of
like that.
Mel Gibson, Kanye West memes I've been seeing.
Yeah, no more brother wars.
Yeah, no, like it's like, yeah, they wouldn't hold slave auctions on Sunday. Like, why do you think that is? Or Saturday? Or something.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
there was what other stuff? I think they did the wooden doors one with Mel Gibson like on the phone with Kanye, whatever. Like, yeah, wooden doors.
Wooden doors, man.
crazy, they don't seal. They don't seal anything. It's like, how do you think that works? Like, it's all whatever.
Oh, you're talking about on like the showers and the
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay, I didn't get that one. I
No, Jamie,
didn't see that
pull
one.
that up.
Pull it up.
It was funny because the first I don't even know if is that true that they had wooden doors on the gas showers. Yeah, because I'm like,
It doesn't matter if they have wooden doors.
well, if they have weather
the high
stripping, it really doesn't
concentration.
matter. No, like come on, 0. Bro,
But
like the
yeah,
numbers didn't go. Oh no, like I didn't understand. Like I remember first seeing some meme like a year ago from like a Tool Time meme from Home Improvement, where it was Al saying like, I'm just saying like if it was me, I wouldn't use wooden doors. I'm like, what the fuck is this even? Like I had no idea what it was referencing, so I had to like Google it, and I'm like, really? Like with like just what the meme meant, not like specifically if they actually use wooden doors or anything like that. But like, it's just funny, I guess. This episode's gonna be like fucking taken off so
Probably.
fast.
This is what gets
to
us.
scan
This
it.
is it.
Guys are talking about bad stuff here, so let's move on. Let's move on. To
Word.
other
So I
things.
guess
How's that sound?
next one would be yes, not talking about Jews anymore. Now we'll be talking about Germany, looking for an alternative fuel source so it can survive the upcoming winter because energy bills are going up.
What's their stockpile at right now?
They have one.
Yeah, they
nukes
have
or what?
reserves. Oh, I'd hope they have nukes.
Oh, Germany, West Germany, I think has a little.
Germany, because they have gas storage facilities, right? And they are currently, as of September 20th at least, 90% full. And apparently that is supposed to take them through the winter. If it's at least 90, it will take them through the winter. I don't know if that means if it's a really bad winter, it'll take them through. Don't hold me to that. Because I brought it up, like, well, I brought that thing up about Trump when he was at the UN talking about how they're like Germany's completely like energy dependent on Russia, which wasn't true, but it was leading that way, right? Like progressively over the years, and we've talked about this already on a past episode, how Germany's like was progressively getting more and more of their natural gas from Russia, and I'm like, they're leading that way, like they were at least for sure. So when that got cut, they got like fucked. So now they were getting from other places and shit like that, because I didn't even know they had storage until I brought it up in the leftist Discord that I'm in, and like some guy brought up like, oh yeah, no, they got gas storage and they're almost at the capacity they need to get through winter. So it's nice to talk to people on other sides so I could hear their good information some of the time and bad information most of the time. It's a nice balance.
I guess we'll see in a couple months.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll
yeah.
note as far as weapons of mass destruction, because I was totally on a different thought here. Germany does not have its own domestically produced atomic weapons. That said, they are home to U.S. like they field as part of their forces. They train with, and they allow U.S. to store nuclear weapons in Germany. Which, by the way, is like, a part of NATO, right? Like if you the part of the NATO agreement, all of NATO did not sign the non-proliferation treaty because
Like
the U.S. proliferates nuclear weapons via NATO into these countries that wouldn't have a weapons program, which is why Putin attacked all four of the and seized all four of the um, nuclear power plants in eastern Ukraine, because they are designed to create feeder material for nuclear weapons.
I'm trying to pull up because apparently, 'cause I'm trying to think of this whole Russian Ukraine bullshit, the whole war or whatever. That like you gotta get like there's got to be some compromise, right? Like because peace was obviously preferable to war, whatever, and that Russia's not gonna back down. Because like again, talking to people in the leftist Discord, I keep bringing up the NATO shit. Like, I'm like, they were literally discussing with Ukraine, like, the month prior to the start of the war, that, like, to get Ukraine into NATO, right? Like, I'm like, that was what provoked it. I'm not saying that Russia was justified in attacking, right? I'm saying that Putin felt provoked. And he's like, no. He's like, well, what happened in Crimea then? And I'm like, probably something similar. Like something happened. I'm like,
The
some
Ukrainians
government
got up
shit.
from the table in Crimea, and Russia was like, dibs. And Ukraine was like,
Okay,
hey, you can't do
what's
that.
missing from the history, like, okay, think about how Texans feel about the Alamo, right? How many people died at the Alamo?
No one.
Like 300?
None. It
Right?
wasn't real.
No
It
one.
was a conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
Just like.
Just like something else. The Alamo had wooden doors, so everybody was able to escape. Nobody died there.
It's like, you can get. Like, I'm like, I break wood all the time. Like,
Exactly.
You can get out of there.
Yeah.
There's no basement in the Alamo.
It wasn't. It was. The Alamo had a swimming pool. It wasn't like a military installation. Like, come on.
It's like summer camp.
It's like summer camp where they learn to
I think, you
concentrate.
know what? I want to get kids together and that are struggling in school. I want them to get to focus. I want them to concentrate. A whole camp for concentration.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we can target the disadvantaged kids, the minorities and the
That would be fair. That would be, yes.
Yeah, do we need to level the playing field, right? Anyways,
Equity, I believe.
how many Russian soldiers since Catherine the Great have died defending Crimea? Think about it. Hundreds of thousands. The Crimean War, World War I, World War II, and now we're going into the Russia-Ukraine war. Like more Russian soldiers have died to maintain Russia's access to the Black Sea than all of the U.S. soldiers in any war but the Civil War, right? And that's only when you count both sides as being U.S. soldiers, right?
Damn.
Okay, it is absolutely bonkers that we would think that Russia is going to give up the Crimea and their Black Sea naval fleet. Like that is life or death for the Russian state. It's that in their heads, they might be right or wrong about that, but in their heads, it is life or death. So it's not fucking. There's no compromise on. Is Russia going to have a naval base in Crimea? Yeah, they fucking
Yeah,
are.
they are. That's probably the only thing they would actually deploy tactical nukes in defense of. So,
Like the other, I like the other shit with like everyone says, true or not, whatever, that Putin's like an irrational actor. I'm like, I think everyone is kind of being irrational to different degrees, clearly. But like the whole like nuclear war shit. I'm like, you got Putin like weeks ago, or like advisors to Putin or whatever talking about like reacting with nukes, and then you got fucking Biden administration going like that would be a mistake and we'll fucking react. Like, where's the de-escalation?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what the fuck
We
are you
need to give
talking
him something besides humiliating defeat and blowing up the entire Earth. Because
I do
those are
like
his two
France.
options.
Macron posted on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, France is not going to fight this war, guys. So just so you know, so France has already surrendered."
He's too busy fucking his teacher from grade school. So
That's true. Yeah, seems to be a
that's
lot of that going on.
unfortunately true.
He took the fucking Hot for Teacher music video way too far.
Mm.
Married her
Yeah.
and made her the first lady of
I
France.
think that we're going off topic here, but I'm fine with it because I'm gonna leave in a couple minutes because I gotta do shit. But what was funny, I guess when he was like in, was it grade school or was it high school or something that he was in with that teacher that he's married to
Could have been
now?
high school, or
Because
like.
I
Well, the
like
French system's a little different. Like you get split up when you're like 14 to go to trade school versus like academic school.
okay, because I remember like a speech he gave like after he won, right? Like after he like won his election and he had her there and he was talking about like he's like, yeah, when I was a kid and she was my teacher, like I told her, I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna be with you or whatever and blah blah blah. He's like, and here I am now, and she looked awkward as fuck, and I'm like, yeah, because you're a fucking child predator. You were probably waiting for that.
Well, in France, it's not as weird as it is here.
I
But
don't care. Fuck you.
and
I don't-
also, if the
fuck
genders were
you.
reversed, it would be a little more
No,
obvious,
no.
I think.
Yeah, maybe it would be
But no, I
obvious.
mean, like we recognize that. Yeah, she's a child predator, right? That groomed him.
My
and-
thing is, I don't care about cultural differences. They can go fuck themselves.
But like the world leaders are just like we have to, or like a normal polite society. Like there's never going to be an Atlantic article or a New York Times article about like, yeah, the first lady of France is a child predator, and like Macron is obviously groomed, and like who knows if he actually even sets policy in any real way.
Like
I
Macron's
mean, president in there is pretty
Macron's
ceremonial.
wife dates younger people, marries younger people, no problem. Trump does it, it's a wholly different thing. Like, where's the consistency?
He does it as an adult too, where they're both adults.
Yeah, they're both
Right?
adults. It's like the same thing, just gender swapped, huh? Okay.
Equality.
So much for the patriarchy, God. Holy fuck, I'm so tired. My body aches. Yeah, I'm heading out, boys.
Word.
Y'all take it easy.
Always nice when the Mexican can pop in for a word or two.
As a member of NAFTA, sometimes they deserve a little bit of say.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. I am
But
also
yeah,
drinking
he's got to get
tequila,
back
so
to
you know.
tossing those. He's got to be back to tossing those tomatoes in the back of a truck at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, he's tossing something in the back of a truck. Maybe not just tomatoes. Maybe an entire salad. Who knows? But I think what he's really doing is he's saving like the remaining drywall compound, and he's gonna make like a mold of his wife's feet for nefarious purposes. I think that's what's going to happen.
Wait, you saw the you saw the meme I posted of the foot molds
I think so, yeah.
captioned the wounds of Jesus getting pulled off the cross, and it's the holes through the feet,
Oh my god. Hold on. I need
but
to
it's
find this.
it's a pussy.
The words.
Oh boy.
Oh lord. So I guess, just talking about fussies, we should probably go into our next topic, which I believe was simps and what to do about the simp question and the final solution you presented on Tumblr so eloquently. So would you like to explain that?
No midterms.
Oh, midterms, right. Okay, just kidding.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're not going to talk about simps. We're going to talk about another kind of simp.
Well, we're gonna get to
Political
the
simping.
simps, but
Okay.
we're gonna
So,
leave
yeah.
the simp solution for the final thing. It's gonna be the final simp solution.
Couple of weeks till midterm elections, and Democrats are losing the House and probably actually going to not have a 50-50 tie in the Senate. It may actually be slightly GOP. So, of course, that means the GOP will do jack shit, as usual.
Well, I mean, they get to do jack shit because, they can just say, "Oh, the president would never sign any of our bills anyways," and
Exactly.
then they'll put every bill to remediation, you know, uh, between the House and Senate, and it'll get fucking twice the size that it was, and they'll increase spending faster than any Democrat or Democrat government ever would, just like they did under Trump.
Exactly.
And it will be exactly the same, but they'll get to complain. Like, there's nothing worse than Republicans. There's nothing worse for the Republicans than them actually getting power, because it's like
Because then they
they're
have to
good.
produce.
Yeah, they and then everybody hates them afterwards, right? Like, it would be better for the Republicans if they intentionally lost the midterms, so that when they do actually get power, they can, like, then they're saving themselves for the presidential, and then they get all three, chamber, or the two chambers in the presidency,
And then they
and
could
then they
still
could
not do anything.
conceivably do something,
Never.
but they would still not do it, just like they didn't do anything under Trump when he had all
Exactly.
three parts of the legislative
First 2
process
years of
under
his
control.
administration, just absolutely nothing, because all he did was complain.
But at least we have, like, a somewhat based Supreme Court, so
Somewhat.
somewhat. No, the yeah, their spending's just gonna go up, and they're gonna bitch about it, and they're gonna bitch about inflation and pretend that they have some different plan from the IRA, which is gonna be, it's just gonna be spending money to try and make money worth more, and it obviously won't work. Um, oh, I posted on Facebook. My aunt was complaining about the price of bacon. And she's like, "Is this just a California thing, or is this everywhere?"
I
And
mean,
I
it's both.
sent a link. Yes, as both. But I sent a link, or, like, I just commented, what the fuck happened in 1971.com, which is a great, like, little, just, like, mind blower. If you want to drop that into your relatives, like, if they're complaining about inflation,
Now's the time.
drop that link right now. Or anytime you see that somebody, one of those, like, non-political friends that you have, complaining about inflation,
Those
just comment,
losers.
"Oh,
Those
like, what happened in
non-political losers.
1971?" Yeah, right. Those people who, like, go places and
Do things and just
and
have
see
lives.
people and see
Yeah.
things, and
Just doing shit.
socialists. I think that's what they're called.
Sounds right.
They get invited to social events.
Oh, you're a socialist? How many social events you've been invited to?
Shit. Now I can't find like. Oh, here it is. 538. 2022 is predicting just a 59% chance that the Democrats hold the Senate.
It was
And
61% yesterday.
yeah, and here's the deal: in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 scenarios. Okay. 16 scenarios of the potential spread, right? So there's a way to do stats, right? Which is we have a potential for 33 seats to swing, right? Because those are what's up.
Mhm.
Um, but in 16 of those scenarios, so just by raw numbers, there's a 50-50 chance that it's going to be a 50-50 Senate. Just based on like the raw polling, looking at Um, and then you look at these individual races. I'm sort of surprised. I'm sort of surprised that the Arizona race is going to keep Mark Kelly. I felt like Arizona would not be in the mood to simultaneously on a statewide level elect Kerry Lake
Mm.
and Mark Kelly in the same election. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, we'll see. It looks pretty. I mean, at least Real Clear Politics, like it has him at +1, so that's like that's close.
Mike Lee's
Lack
going
of
to win,
bathroom
obviously,
action got
in
you
Utah.
down?
Nevada's a little
Miralax works naturally with
little
the
bit
water
of
in
a
your body
toss-up.
to help you go.
Incumbent
Free your gut and your mood will
Catherine
follow.
Masto is pulling behind very slightly Adam Laxalt, who I don't really
Mhm.
know at all. I don't know anything about these Nevada politicians since fucking Harry Reid retired. What's another one that's a potential toss up in the Senate? Georgia. Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker Jr. and Libertarian Chase Oliver. But Herschel Walker, you know his story?
The guy from Walking Dead.
No, the football player,
No, I don't.
um, who surprisingly has not murdered his wife.
Oh,
He only wrote a book about how he frequently thinks about killing himself and
oh, that's
killing
fine.
other people.
Oh well,
Uh,
Mondays.
so Herschel Walker was a football player, won the Heisman Trophy, allegedly struggles with dissociative disorder.
Hmm.
Um, and like became a born again Christian Republican. In his ex-wife has accused him of holding a gun to her head on multiple occasions.
Well, sometimes
Um,
you just gotta do that.
yeah. I honestly, I want the Senate to turn into a fucking like loony bin Akram asylum, basically.
Pretty much.
And so, yes, I am supporting Herschel Walker in Georgia, and in Pennsylvania. You know what I'm talking about? John
Oh,
Fetterman.
oh boy,
John Fetterman,
John the Neck
Mister
Fetterman.
the Turtle Club himself, who can barely speak without computer assistance. I want him to win too.
Mm.
I'm rooting for a Democrat here.
He is actually like he's leading, isn't he? Anyway.
He, he's leading, and it speaks something to Democrats that they're like, yeah, here we have this like actual like weekend at Bernie's like stroke victim who like doesn't know where he is at any given moment and like is reading and like has just saying whatever's being told into his ear and
Oh, one thing
yeah.
that is kind of interesting. Oh, excuse me. So, Georgia, the governor race, Stacey Adams is probably getting ousted.
Oh yeah, I should look at that.
So I guess her opponent Kemp is like right now. Real Clear has him at they at like +5.6. So
Did you see Shane Hazel's appearance in the debate with both of them?
no.
It was amazing. So the libertarian candidate actually got on the stage with both of them in the debate
Oh wow.
and was dropping bombs He's like, property taxes theft, and you're at gunpoint saying you're going to take my house unless I pay for government schools where my children just get indoctrinated into, liberal woke sex identity. And it was amazing. He's like, yeah, the number one. He looks over to Stacey Abrams and says, "I don't support gun control because the number one thing that kills people is governments. I want people to have guns so that they can defend themselves against the government."
Based.
Uh,
Government
it
based.
was a really good debate appearance, and it's the kind of debate appearance that the Libertarian Party needs to have when they
Mm.
can get them. And it looks like he's not going to be a spoiler for the Republican, but he is like there was a noticeable uptick after the debate, and he's going to get enough to like get ballot access and like
Oh, fantastic.
like when you got like Wyoming and Utah where people vote in dictator levels for the fucking Republican Party, it's like the Libertarian Party has a really serious ability to become the second party if they wanted to. Um
If they want to. That's the big thing. They never really seem to hold true to that.
well, okay, like looking at like the fucking sociopaths and like actual retards that they get to run for fucking the Republican Democrat parties, like that's the best they could do, right? Like the Libertarian Party is a small organization, so you get eccentric people usually. They're not like sociopaths or straight up like, you know, mentally handicapped, but they're just
Hmm.
very eccentric. Sometimes they're a little mentally handicapped. But yeah, like I think there's just a lot of stuff to overcome the inertia of the big party system.
Mm, I would agree.
And so, okay, I'm looking at the house right now, and it looks very solid. So, I mean, this is not that much of a toss up. Like the Republicans are almost certainly taking the House.
Mm.
Whether they take the Senate or not matters. I think it's not the worst deal if it maintains a 50-50 Senate. Like what's the difference, really? Like the Republicans aren't going to pass anyways, and they'll have more plausible deniability about fucking up spending for the next 2 years if
Mm.
they're not in charge of the Senate. So,
This is true. Ugh.
we both got the sniffles.
Dude, this sinus thing, like, it's not that bad, but it's also like,
No,
it's not normal.
no, I'm like, it's not enough to like not do things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, just which my like face didn't hurt, and like
Hmm.
my eyes weren't like itchy.
Exactly. That's the one thing I just, like, I'll take everything else if my eyes can just stop itching. That's all I want. This is like a new strain
So
of COVID. They're going to announce it in
yeah,
a week, and we're like, that was
it's
gay.
probably the like the monkeypox COVID hybrid that we got from going to some public bathroom where some guy with monkeypox farted and it aerosolized and mixed with COVID and then got into our eyeballs.
Exactly.
The inside of our eyeballs right now is just
Well, I
fucking
mean, if you think
oozing
about it, the
pus.
same plane that was cloud seeding over you was probably cloud seeding over me, so that's probably how they got us.
Right, right. Actually, when I was backpacking, I had to think to myself, actually, like, you don't see anything related to industrial society in the Wind River Range, um, aside from occasionally jets passing overhead. And I wanted to know what flight it was that, like, every 4 hours was going back and forth. I bet it's like LA to New York. And I wanted to use a man-pad missile system and shoot that flight
Hmm.
down. Because it's
Inshallah,
like
brother.
I'm I am out in the wilderness hiking 50 miles, and I wouldn't even know what day it is or what like anything. I'd be just in nature if not for the fact that there's this one flight full of fucking New Yorkers and Los Angeles people flying over my head every 4 hours, and it doesn't matter a shit to them. They're just flying over some rocks. It's like, fuck you. I am in the wilderness. Need to move to Alaska or some shit.
Seriously. Then you can join the hunt for the illegal Chinese fisher people who devastated the crab population.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
But
no shoe crab or whatever it is up there.
yeah, king crab or some shit.
King crab, yeah.
But instead, we're gonna again circle back to the simp question.
Right. Yeah. What do we do with all these surplus males in our society? We're moving towards a hypergamistic society. The Chads, a la, Ben, Matt, Yimra, myself, we are going to be securing 2, 3, 6 women each.
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves a lot of guys without action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what they did in the Middle Ages, called a monastery. Get thee to a nunnery. You know what I'm saying?
Or a monastery.
Just
don the robe
but
and
legitimately, these guys that are like buying like a Tesla for their e-girls or getting an e-girl tattooed on their like body.
I don't know what's worse because like the Tesla is of course expensive, but
it's not your skin.
Yeah, like the tattoo's cheaper, but that's always on you unless
you're not branding
burn it off.
yourself. Right, like, it's slightly less reversible than like a phalloplasty, but the fucking like there needs to be a seriously like a bring back of like men's community, like men's. Okay, you could describe the problem right now in society that we have like an excess of young men who are looking for meaning and some devotion in life and for a way to build their skills and to become self-improved and everything like that, and college is not working, and the public school system's not working and all that stuff like that. And you'd say, oh, okay, so we need to build like men's retreats where they can counsel with each other and they can do positive outdoor activities. They can garden, they can farm, tending to livestock, they can hike, they can work on art, poetry, writing. They can study texts and talk to each other about it, and try to ascend to virtues and everything like that. You're like, oh, that sounds amazing. That'd be a great way to get these men who are really sad, desperate parts of their lives and get them to the next level where they can achieve and self-actualize and everything like that. You're describing a monastery.
Exactly.
These guys need to go to monasteries. There are monasteries where in all over like Wyoming, Colorado, in the mountains, you can brew beer and paint and garden and read classical philosophy. It'll have a Christian tint, but maybe you just need to get over your fucking like foot sniffing, atheist phase.
Exactly.
No offense to Matt, but
Matt was made a foot lover by the grace of God.
But yeah, you'd be so much happier. Like, even if you don't even like really get into the Christian phase, like if you spent like just a year or two like studying with them, like hanging out with them, like being a student at the monastery, like they won't let you take the vows of celibacy until like they're sure you're like on board with everything, because they actually care about the people. It's like, yeah, you like honestly, like if I had no romantic or professional outlets in my life, like
yeah,
that would be a good thing, right? Like, and you can do monastic orders, like they used to have them for everything. Like they're sports oriented ones. There's ones where it's dedicated to like distance walking and running and like mountaineering. Like, who do you think put the crosses at the top of all those Alps mountains on the first descents? It was monks. Those were the guys. They invented mountaineering. Okay. So yeah, just become a monk. Stop spending thousands of dollars on e-girls
Seriously.
and brew beer in the mountains and pick up painting.
Disregard women, acquire beer and art.
Your profile or your avatar for the longest time was the monk like sipping out of the
Yeah,
little chalice,
sipping
right?
ale. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you need to become. There's no shame in that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, let's be real. A lot of those places, if you're just looking to get off a little bit, all the guys are.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could have like a like totally non homosexual circle jerk session, and
Yeah.
it's totally fine. You don't got to worry about it.
Just pray a little afterwards. It's all good.
Or there's like a special booth maybe on the grounds where there's certain images in there, and you just go in and you view them and take care of yourself. And when you leave the hut, like it's like whatever happens in the hut, God can't see there, so it's whatever. It's fine. You line the
yeah,
outside
no,
with lead. God's vision can't penetrate lead. So
like I'm trying to think legitimately. Though, like one of the main problems like incels have, right, is they are hyper fixated on sex,
hmm
right? Like it's a this negative thought pattern where all they want is like a romantic like sexual encounter, and then they build up so much anxiety about it they can't initiate and they never talk to women, and maybe they've got something else going on, right? Like they're overweight or they're really short and like they don't have the confidence to like overcome that, or they don't. But it's like, you know what monks do? Like you could go lift weights and walk and like pick up a skill and like learn poetry. Yeah, like just come on.
exactly.
So this is my permanent solution: is we need to restore monasticism all across the United States,
And one other
or
thing
I
you
mean
could
anywhere
do,
there's incels.
so just increase the number of these monasteries for these incels, and then you give them all equipment and training to patch and pave roads.
Oh yeah. No, and actually they used to, the monastic orders used to do all of the
Road
like
work.
yeah, improvements, not road work, but like, like I said, they build trails to the top of mountains and like put crosses at the top of them and stuff like that. And they'd like build gardens. They'd, oh, we're gonna go to this village and like renovate all this stuff. And like, okay, there's like professional artisan monks, monastic orders that like what they do is like, oh, we've got the masonry guy, we've got the drywaller guy, we've got the
Electrical guy.
illuminations guy, the stained glass guy, and they all go around and they spend their whole lives just renovating old churches and like making them nice again.
That sounds like a good
Or
way to
I mean,
go.
you could even be Buddhist if you want to go on the full atheist tilt. You could be Buddhist, right?
Or if you're just a weeb, like if the idea of
Or
Buddhism
weeb.
appeals to you more because you're a weeb, then go for it. Like, more power to you.
Yeah, and they do the exact same thing where they build their temples and like make them beautiful. They build trails, they paint, they do poetry, they do all that. It's not just guys running around slapping themselves with fucking 2x4s in the head, like in Monty Python.
Exactly. I mean, they do that every once in a while, but not all the time.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So, any other thoughts on simps, incels, and what they need to do with their life? Return to monk.
Return to monk.
JC said
Exactly. Yeah.
monk pox.
Mm. Good
Uh,
night, Watchmen.
gay Roman wrestling clubs.
Hmm.
That's an option too.
True. Yeah. I know the Turks have like that gay as fuck like Turkish oil wrestling thing they do, where the idea is to like get your hand inside your opponent's pants and pin them, and it's like, how exactly do you pin them? Oh, okay. That's gay. That's incredibly gay, but it's Turkish, so nobody questions it.
Oh, JC's pointing out the libertarian in Arizona in the debate, unprompted, brought up the age of consent, which is like,
Excellent. Checking every box on libertarian bingo tonight.
bro, don't walk into that.
God. We discussed
Uh,
this. Listen, libertarians, we need to very hard to not bring that up because the left wholly owns, but what if the child consents though right now? So we need to not give them a reason to pass that baton back. We do not need that. Not that I am not that I am libertarian, but
No, the bottom right ANCAP libertarian angled right believes children cannot consent to these things. That's why your parents hold them in custody for you until you're an adult. What the debate about is what age you become an adult. Okay. Yeah. Is it 17? 18? Is it 19? Is it 25? Like that's what the debate's about. A lot of arguments I've encountered lately would say that 18 is probably too young of a
probably.
age of
To
majority.
be really honest, like it should be 25.
Yeah, I think more and more I go like, yeah, 25.
Mm.
It's absolutely silly.
Oh, speaking of which, so I had an
How
interesting.
developmentally disabled most men are when they're 22 and just trying to get like, drunk and laid.
Speaking of which, so I had this family come into the shop Monday, and it's like a grandmother and these two younger kids, and I'm like, oh, how can I help you guys? And the grandma's like, oh, we're looking for a bridal set, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm just like, oh, how old are you guys? And they're both like, oh, we're 15. I'm like, what? Hold on. Well, I'm not gonna ask. And grandma keeps trying to pick out like the most expensive set for them, and it's just like it's like some wealthy ass Mormon grandma trying to get these kids to marry because like I don't know. I guess somebody's pregnant.
It's her life project at this point. Yeah, just being a
Yeah,
matchmaker.
pretty much. But it's like, ma'am, I don't know if I can actually sell wedding rings to 15-year-olds. I don't know if that works. It's not kosher. It's not okay. You have to spend a lot of money to get me to be okay with that, and even then, I'd still probably like not be okay with it. So,
Well, wait, let me look up the laws in Utah.
oh god, I don't want to know. It's probably abysmal. It's
Yeah, I'm
Utah.
betting. You must be at least 16 years old to get married in Utah.
Okay,
So
thank
you were
God.
right.
That's fuck.
You were right. 16.
Yeah.
And if you are 18 or older, you do not need the consent of a parent or guardian to get married. So even if
Well,
you're
that makes
16,
sense.
17, 18, yeah, you would still need parental signed consent. Now I'm wondering. Oh, that's weird. If you're under 18 but you've been married once, you do not need written consent for the second marriage.
I feel like you should definitely need consent for the second marriage if you're getting married for a second time
Yeah,
under
the
the age
point
of
is
18.
that you don't. Yeah, the whole idea is that you're trying to not have people who've been divorced 3 times by the time they're 21 just because they're dating.
Yeah. Well, then
Instead of
Utah, that
like
actually that's a possibility. Oh.
So what I'm trying to get here is if there is a age gap requirement, or can you as a 50-year-old marry a 16-year-old? Because that would be a little interesting.
Did I mention it wasn't a 16-year-old, but it was like a 60-year-old dude, and I want to say probably like a 25-year-old woman, and she was like clearly like OnlyFans thoughting it up.
Wait, oh no, was this a couple months ago or something?
This was probably at this point, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think you told me about that, but you could remind the
Yeah,
audience.
so like they came in and he's like, I was like, oh, how'd you guys meet? And he goes, oh, we met on the internet, but we're not going to go into that. I'm just like, oh, okay, we won't go into that. And they bought a ring and then returned it a couple days later, and I haven't seen them since. I'm just like, maybe you shouldn't. It was like, it's like one of those returns, like it sucks to take the return, but at the same time, you're like, that's probably for the best. Whoops, I switched the screens. Uh-oh. There we go. Let's refix that. almost had an episode without a little technical hiccup, and I just had to double click real quick.
I don't lose any sleep about it.
That's
Okay,
all right.
we're about to hit an hour here. Any closing thoughts on 60 minutes, 6 million?
So you proposed
Kanye.
an interesting solution to Germany's fuel crisis.
Well, okay, I just really like the juxtaposition. I wish it was like if I could write for just one day the headline for Drudge Report, it would be let me look at it exactly.
Hitler names Jews. Germany looks for alternative fuel sources. Not Hitler. Yay names Jews. Wow. There you go.
Germany hunts for winter fuel. West points out Jews.
Oh mein Gott, this reactor is full of Juden.
Yeah, so West is in Kanye West.
Of course.
No, but it's like one of those news mashups where it's like Kim launches missile over Japan, and it's like comma West files for divorce, and it's
Yeah.
Kanye West is filing divorce with Kim Kardashian, but Kim Jong-un just launched a missile over Japan. Yeah. They know what they're doing when they write those headlines.
Exactly. I think Kim Jong-un and Kanye West are working together secretly.
Honestly, I want to see the collab. I think
Mm-hmm.
our only millennial world leader, or one of the only millennial world leaders. There's also that cute girl from Finland. But
yeah, but she's honestly, man, she's got crazy eyes. I don't know about that.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I mean,
hit?
I probably would, but
Okay. But then yeah, Kim Il Sung needs to just link up with Kanye, and they could have the most dynamic. I want to see North Korea turn into the Asian Wakanda.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, for a while, so under Kim Il Sung or Kim Jong Un, excuse me, the last one, he was the world's leading importer of Hennessy. You can believe that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's getting it on lock already.
Yeah.
As far as integrating Yeezy into his repertoire, like him and what's the basketball player with the crazy hair?
Dennis Rodman.
Rodman. Yeah, Dennis Rodman, Kanye West, North Korea. So North Korea built this whole tourist industry, and they have all these like basically empty ski resorts, and it's really good like snow in Korea. Like it snows a
They have
lot. It's
fantastic
cold.
snow, fantastic mountains.
And I want to ski in North Korea. Like there's nobody there. You get the resort to yourself.
If you pose
basically.
as a what's the Chinese word for like the American leftists? Baizhua. Pose as a Baizhua, you'll get in. Baizu, you'll get in.
Uh-huh. Honestly, North Koreans don't care about foreigners' opinions of their country. It's just like because like their legitimacy only matters to their internal thing, like
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Just as long as you're respectful of the rules while you're there, right? Like don't steal a fucking painting off the wall, right? And take pictures, the right way and stuff like that. Of not some stuff. So Kim Jong Un is the current general secretary. Yeah. He was preceded by Kim Il Sung is his grandfather. Yeah. It's weird because they don't like publish like the family tree in fucking North Korea, and like
it's
all
Kim
of them have like
Jong-il.
multiple. Yeah,
that's the one I'm thinking of, and I remember that because I named a bong after him once. It was Kim Bong-il. I got that on the day he died.
Very nice.
Indeed. I think I gave it to my sister.
Alrighty. Well, that sounds like a great way to close it out.
I think so too.
Yeezy, Kim Jong Un,
Collab coming.
supremacy.
Yes. Answering the Jewish question after all this time. Yeah, we're just going to throw that out there. Might as well. I can say that. I can say that. You can't. I can. Because I am Jewish and it's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining
You
us
gotta
tonight.
flash your Israeli passport whenever you do that. Right?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I am neither confirming nor denying my dual citizenship in any such capacity whatsoever.
Just like
Ladies
a
and gentlemen,
congressperson.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Yimra, we hope you're doing okay in your union job tomorrow. We hope you're not lifting too many manholes and bottoming out too much in your equipment. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And again, remember, taxation's theft.